Berwick-upon-Tweed. A thriving market town set on the beautiful Northumberland coast just south of the Scottish borders. 2015 sees the year that people of Berwick celebrate 900 years of history in the town. From April through to October, many free events are taking place to celebrate the colourful past of this quiet, friendly border town.
I would say it's been an immensely successful weekend. All of the living history people who've turned up, ourselves and the Lowland Jocks, I think have brought a fair bit of colour and life to it. The displays put on by Berwick 900 and the archive service I think are outstanding. There's a lot of very, very good information material about local people and the war, not just local men who served in the war, but what was happening here in Berwick on the home front, which is a very exciting story in itself. So I think it's full marks to the organisers, to Linda Bankier of the archives, and of course to Derek Sharman of Berwick 900. I think they put on a really, really good event, which is important and I think highly relevant for local people. And indeed, we've had a lot of local people here.
Well, the weekend's gone really well. Much better than we expected, actually. We've had lots of people coming into the Guildhall to see the exhibitions that have been set up, talk to the reenactors who brought along lots of equipment about the First World War. All the talks that we've had have been really well attended.
All throughout our lives we have lived with the monuments to the past. Berwick has its fair share of war memorials, and Janet Brown has made a study of their significance and the stories behind them.
It started with a letter to the Times from the Imperial War Museum in which they said that war memorials, war graves had always been listed, but war memorials hadn't, and a lot of them were disappearing or needed renovation. And they thought a little list would be a good idea. And after the association stopped the project after 5 years, I kept it on. And then I was asked to help out with a group from County Durham. And we pulled the two lots together, called ourselves the North East War Memorials Project, and we've been going ever since.
The Guildhall and the barracks are the main locations for this weekend's celebrations. The Maltings Youth Theatre perform a period drama in front of the town hall.
Out from the lake in the great Russian bear.
But strength and vigour renewed. It's a stirring piece of writing, that.
And it's all about a great big bear.
No, it's about the war, Kitty. And Russia.
Kitty, come here, we've got bigger things to worry about than a
But
bear.
what do they all think?
It's quite good. Everyone's like remembering their lines, and the audience today were a lot more like interactive, like laughing at the jokes and things like that.
But we like to do lots of like work in the community because it means that we get like a better feel for it, and it's also nice to like just get to be like with people.
Goodbye, Piccadilly, farewell, Leicester Square. It's a long, long way to Tipperary, but my heart's right there.
It's more exciting in the respect that we don't know how an audience is going to react or what can happen outside, which is different to being on stage where everything is planned and run over and over and over again. So it's different, but it's still exciting.
They're determined to have me in this.
You've got your age against you. 23, no family. Mine doesn't make much of a difference these days.
Sad Mr. Hogarth. Once he has you in his sights, he won't let go.
I'm sure I just saw him down Bridge Street chasing a dog. Must have got his paws in his prize beef. Speaking of beef, you fancy a pasty before we go in?
No, might as well. Might be the last one for a while.
Really, really well. A really good receptive audience today.
Yeah, they picked up on the jokes, they laughed, they got involved and clapped, so
they've been closer as well.
Yeah, so they've been really involved.
Well, it was good to get the interaction with the audience. I thought it would be like a lot different, but it's not too much different. I thought it would be more scary, but it was actually it's okay.
I think we've got to be louder doing it outside, but apart from that, it's pretty much the same. And the audience are kind of more involved as well because they're right up next to us instead of separated by a stage. So.
You have scuppered your dad's chances of that appeal by chasing Samson straight into Mr. Hogarth's butchers.
We didn't.
He ran away.
Straight into Mr. Hogarth's?
He loves Mr. Hogarth's sausages.
Who? The dog?
No, Dad!
Kitty, Mary, have you learned your lines for tonight's fundraising performance of Scenes from Cranford?
It's been pretty good reaction. We've had lots of people coming up for photos and things like that.
Yeah, they really like the costumes. Definitely like the costumes. It definitely draws them in.
Particularly the army costumes. Those ones a lot.
And the boys with the top hats. They specifically like the top hats.
You'll have to come along to the courtroom at 1 o'clock. We've all got his best interests at heart.
It's not you I'm worried about. I think they've quite enjoyed it, especially today. The audience have been a lot more involved with it, and I think it's good for them to come along and see it.
I think to play those parts you just have to really believe that you are the character, and I think the bit that actually makes it easier to play those parts is to remember that they were real people.
I'll march you up to the barracks. It'll be your new home from home.
No you won't, and I will be coming with you.
Mrs. Darling, you won't believe how
If they were fictional stories, it might have been a bit more difficult, but knowing that these are real people, we're taking it from facts, I think that really helps you to kind of dig into what they would have been feeling back then. So I found the fact that it was real helped me.
Linda came to us about 6 weeks ago maybe and said, will we do some street theatre for Berwick 900? Well, Derek Sharman originally, and we said yes, of course. I think it's about the third or fourth piece of youth theatre we've done with Derek. And she brought us lots of information, and then we've just improvised and worked around it and created a story.
encourage people to come outside and watch it, okay?
We've done maybe only about 25 hours really. So
Samson was on the list again and we were chasing up and down Hyde Hill. But if you hadn't stopped to look at that Charlie Chaplin poster outside the playhouse, we could have caught him.
Charlie Chaplin, did you say, dear? Yes, he is quite alright, but I myself do prefer Mary Pickford, and well, some people do say I look quite like her.
but it's intense when we're together. It is quite intense, and I expect them to go away and do some work on it themselves.
Meanwhile, up in the courtroom,
They're the sort of age group where they can go away and do it themselves, and they don't need too much looking after, and they've got a lot of enthusiasm for it. So yeah, they're a great age group. Great.
You can't take it, Mr. Hogarth.
You know very well, madam, I have no say on the outcome of this tribunal.
We all thought the war was going to be over by Christmas.
Join. Come along. Even if you don't think you can act or sing or dance or anything, it's more about making friends, building confidence, getting skills for life, really. You know, it sets you up for life. It really does.
Well, at the moment we're celebrating 900 years of Berwick, but specifically this weekend we're dealing with the centenary of the Great War. Specifically this weekend it's Gallipoli, because the centenary anniversary is taking place. We've got some of the weaponry on display and some of the equipment that soldiers would have used. And not just that, I mean, we've got some postcards from that the soldiers would have sent back from the war.
Well, I've been doing reenactment living history since 1986. Various periods, 17th century, 18th century, 16th century. I got really interested in the First World War and took part in the living history events 6 years ago.
outside, a recruiting party reenactment is taking place.
Right! Turn! That way! Fits this? What fits this? What fits this?
I don't know, I can't see it. There's a few preconceptions we have about the war. Everybody has preconceptions about the war, and hopefully people can encourage to he'll learn a wee bit more from us, or go back and find out a wee bit more for themselves. We do school visits, and it's good to get kids involved, and if kids get interested and go off and read books on it, and then that's great.
Even some younger members of the public have been enlisted.
I actually preferred them the other way. Detail! Order! Arms! Order arms! Very good, Private. Take your dressing off this one. This is a model soldier.